Hey, I'm really glad to be back. And have prayed and prayed about this slide. Because I told the Lord I just do not know what to say to begin this teaching. I honestly think that you must think that I am crazy sometimes.
Some people think you're possessed. You can back somebody thinking you are possessed.
Well, I don't mean that, Steve. I mean more along the lines of that life is full. My calendar is full, you know. And I talked to somebody about it the other day and kind of opened up a little bit and felt guilty for opening up and just thought, why are you feeling guilty for opening up? And I think it's because I guess I just want to say that it's been really a challenge to be awake, and I hope that you hear me when I say that. And I know that coming back after being away for a while, that sometimes that takes some getting used to, you know. And I guess my request is I hope that doesn't take long to get used to having me back. And the cool way to reflect that is just by talking to me, you know. I'm pumped to get back into Luke, and I know that I'm excited to get back into Luke. I'm not going to get back into Luke tonight. We'll start back on that next week. We're going to look at some other scriptures tonight, but I really have missed you guys. And the title of the teaching tonight is "You're Going to Make It," and I am taking that from my brother Gregory Schlu, who ran the Comrades Ultra Marathon with me last year. He ran and was sick, and was so sick from throwing up that he actually laid under a car and just kind of wanted, I guess, sink into the earth or something and die. He was like 30 miles into the race or something like that. Some South African runner runs up and says, "You, get out from under that car!" Like, and that's kind of how these guys are. He just like crawls out from under the car, and literally, right at the end of the race, he came into the stadium running like this, just like pumping us up, man. There were thousands and thousands of people there, you know, 20,000 runners, let alone all the fans and family that were in the stadium. It was incredible. And but that was my end last year, as you will remember, mile 44. I missed the cutoff in a little town called Pine Town. That means that I didn't get there fast enough. And so the cutoff time passed, and that they pulled me off the course, and I couldn't finish the race. If I would have finished the race, I would have been allowed to come back and run it again, because I'd have been banned from Comrades for life. And this is what the course looked like this year at Comrades Ultra Marathon. 54 miles, and it is straight up. It's a 60% uphill race, and it is about as crazy as that looks. The highest point there is 900 meters. 800, I believe 830 meters, something like that. That's at Umlas Road, but the first 27 kilometers of it is in my opinion, is the hardest. It's the hardest marathon you could run in the world. The first 42 kilometers, but the first 25 to 27 kilometers were crazy. I was doing this last year and this year to get kids sponsored. So I was running Comrades, and people were like, "Why are you doing that? Are you an adrenaline junkie?" And I'm like, "Yeah, not much adrenaline when you run Comrades." But no, I'm doing it to raise awareness and to get kids sponsored. You know, that's why I'm doing it. And I had a huge team do it with me last year. And we had 14 runners run it last year. All of them finished except for me. We had 200 kids get sponsored last year. One of those runners was Sheila Johnson, who ran. She was 64 years old. She ran the Comrades Ultra Marathon. It was a 56-mile course last year. It was just over 54 miles this year. It's a little shorter on the uphill than it is on the downhill. And I was not going to run. I was not going to go back. I was actually speaking at Rolling Hills Covenant Church in September of last year, and I bowed my head to pray. I think it was September, it might have been August. And I bowed my head to pray during the communion time, actually. And I have a routine I go through during communion where I thank God myself for the body and the blood. I'm thankful that somebody's leading me through it, but I have to tell him I'm thankful for the gift of your son. You know, that gift washes my sins away. You know, that gift promises me new life. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just not cocky enough to stand in front. Even right now, I can't stand in front of you and be like, you know what? I got the right to be ticked. I got the right to be upset. I got the right to be offended. I got the right. We protect our rights to things all the time. I heard his testimony too when Howard was speaking. I love Cowboy Joe's testimony. He knows he sucked before Jesus. And Jesus got at him and transformed his life. And I'm going to tell you what, when Paul says all throughout all the epistles, don't forget the day of your salvation. Don't forget your moment of salvation. That's what he's talking about. And for those of us that have been walking this road for a long time, it is easy to lose hold of the genuine power of that moment. But communion is my time that takes me back to that. And right when I close my eyes to thank God for the gift of his son, comrades, this word just shouted in my brain. And that happened every time I took communion. For months and months over the course of this past year. It ruined communion for me. And I'm telling you guys, I wasn't thinking about it going into communion. I'd be speaking to some church, thinking about, okay, I got to hit these notes and these points. Comrades! And it just exploded in my brain. I could not get away from it. And I was at an Awana gathering with Sheila Johnson, one of our runners from last year, who's 65 years old now. And she said to me, you are coming back to our comrades again, aren't you, John? And I was a no. No! Completely a no. Until she looked me in the eye and she asked me if I was going to go. And I heard that in my head. And I said, yeah. And even when I said yes to her, it was kind of a lie. It wasn't the truth yet. It was like, I said it to Sheila's face, but it wasn't like coming from my heart, yes, at all. It was totally different. And so, this is kind of the result of this whole journey was, you know, I ran the birthday run. We did 43 miles that day, a little over 43 miles. God anointed my training. It was great. Felt the love of the church there, and also the LA Marathon with all of our runners. I kept training with the LA Marathon team. Did my back-to-back. Struggled with some of my training at some point because, man, I got really sick. And I was literally on total kid duty, and I missed some of my important training runs and didn't care. I just was like, you know what? If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And then a week before the trip, I have a picture of her, and I didn't put it in the deck. This lady, who I don't even know her name, prayed for me at Long Beach Church of the Nazarene. She walked up to me and asked if she could pray for me. And I had not had anybody do that in a long time. Just like a stranger come up to me and just said, I said, yeah, pray for me. Her husband was right here. Her kids were running around at my feet. And she laid her hand on me. She said, can I lay my hand on your chest? And I said, yeah. She prayed over my heart. And she prayed over me. She prayed that every chain that's tied around my ankle in the spiritual realm would be broken. That every form of bondage would be broken. She looked at me and she said, you just had a huge impediment. How'd she put it? A blockage in the road removed from you, didn't you? In the last 2 weeks, and I had. And she said, well, I think the result of that being moved is I see you going to the heights and coming down. That's what she said, going to the heights and coming down. She had no idea I was running conference. I didn't talk about it with the church. I didn't talk about it with her pastor. Her pastor didn't even know me. This guy just knew me by name, right? But when she was talking about going to the heights and coming down, she was talking about comrades. Now, I'm going to jump out of my story a bunch of times tonight, and I'm going to speak it. And I'm telling you guys, not because I'm speaking, but because I know God is going to speak to you. If you are a note taker, you better write down what God speaks to you tonight. I'm not kidding. And hold on to it with both hands. Because some of the stuff that I'm about to give you is wrecking me right now. I'm 42 years old. 2 years old. I've been following Jesus for a long time. And I'm not talking like I've been interested or I've been a part of the same, like church rhythm or structure. I have been all in. He has had my whole life. I have held nothing back. That's not a boast. He gets the glory for that. And I'm telling you, the stuff God is teaching me right now is wrecking me. It's wrecking me on a level like I've never known before, and I can't sleep at night, and it's not like a bad thing. It's not like stress. It's like my eyes are open, man. I reread a book. It's one of my staple books in life. It's one of my staple books in life. I've read it probably 30 times. It's like I never read that book before. I never even understood that book until now. And so this is what I want to tell you. She prayed for me, and she set me free in the Spirit. And I want to be real clear. God, through her, set me free. But she's the one that he tickled in her ear and said, go pray for him. And she said, yes, not no. Are you following me? She was obedient. Because in the spiritual realm, everything is connected. When in the mental realm, in the physical realm, everything is disconnected. It's only connected in the mental realm unless you sit down and a cup of coffee and you connect intellectually with somebody else, right? Or emotionally with somebody else. Like you share with them their story. Hey, this is what I'm going through. Ronnie says, Johnny, this is what I'm going through. And during the share time just now, we connected, okay? Then the mental realm lined up with the spiritual realm. But the spiritual realm, there are connections being made all the time through people that are blind to those connections, and those connections will never be made clear unless you are obedient to God's calling and you say yes, and you connect with that person. Could be a stranger, could be a friend, could be somebody from way back when. Guys, I have people God has told me to repent of stuff I've done that I did it 10 stinking years ago. And I can't get it out of my head. And I've had to call those people or find them on Facebook, reach out to them and repent and tell them very clearly. And there's a million other things. It could be non-repentance. It could be a word of encouragement you're supposed to give somebody. And you're thinking, that person does not like me, and they would never want to hear from me. Or that person is awesome, and who am I? I'm just this like average person. You're supposed to obey the connections that the Spirit creates. Because I went to the Comrades Ultra Marathon Museum. I walk in, and it's right when I walk in, this guy in a green jersey runs in, and this announcer says on the PA, give it up for this man. I can't remember his name. He just ran his 9th Comrade Marathon, 9 days in a row, leading up to tomorrow, which will be his 10th Comrade Marathon on the actual day of Comrade. So what this guy did was he ran all the way from his village. And the way he did it was he broke it up into 56-mile chunks. And he did a 56-mile run every single day for 9 days in a row. So till he got to Peter Maritzburg. Last year he'd have been there. That was the start line, was in Peter Maritzburg. Well, this year Peter Maritzburg was the finish line. So he had to run another 54 miles all the way to Durban. And I looked at that guy and I got this fear, and I was just like, man, I don't have, this is not me. And I walked into the museum and I'm like, God, you gotta speak to me. God, you gotta speak to me. And I just kept saying that again and again and again. And I walk into one of the main rooms that shows the course, all right, of Comrades, and it's all like a clay model. It's awesome. It's really beautiful, but it's terrifying, you know. And I look up and there's this movie playing of the Comrades Marathon from last year. Right when I look up, that's the face I see. Right there. Isn't that funny? That's so interesting. That was the image I saw. My wife on a television screen cheering for me at the Comrades Ultra Marathon. Is that crazy or what? And that was the second picture that my friend took. That epic thumbs up that only man can give. And I stood in that museum and I just wept. Just wept. Because I thought, God, what are you doing? What are you teaching me? What are you speaking to me right now? And so then I went home, to the hotel that night, and I made sure I got all my stuff organized, because what I didn't do the year before was I didn't have a plan to manage my mind. I had a training plan to manage my body. I had a fuel plan to manage my energy level, but I didn't have a plan to manage my mind and my heart spiritually, okay? So this year my plan was I was going to organize note cards, and I was going to have those note cards in my little bag, and I was going to pull them out at clever moments, and I, you know, I don't know if you can help out with this at all. I can't do it because I'm teaching, so I won't be able to probably multitask that. Maybe I can airplay it, but if not, I'll just kill it, and it's not a big deal. So it really isn't a big deal. Just if you want to fiddle with it, I'm just kind of giving you permission. And so here are some of the things. You know, Howard said 2 weeks ago in his message, how many of you spend more time on your smart device than you do in God's Word, right? You know, well, and I heard his questions. I have one Bible app on my smart device. That's it. But that is the app I know, because I've looked at my app, and this is not boast. I just looked at my statistics. It's the app that is open more than any other app. I live in that app. I only use one Bible app because I want all my notes and every thought and every prayer request to go to the same place. Does that make sense? I want to keep it simple. And so I don't care if other apps come out that have better features. I've got the app I got. I love my app, and I'm sticking with my app. But here are some of the scriptures that I had written down, and I want to read you the scripture and then read you what I was saying to myself. Is that okay? And I'm asking, will you just kind of be generous in your spirit, and maybe you can find a way to connect with this, you know? Maybe you connect with this personally. Deuteronomy 5, verse 3. Not with our fathers did the Lord make this covenant, but with us, who are all of us here alive today. I want to read that again. Please stay keyed in with me. Not with our fathers did the Lord make this covenant, but with us, who are all of us here alive today. Some of you in this room are just like me. You think your mom and your dad were more spiritually connected to the Lord than you are, and that is a lie. The covenant that God is making is with you today. So stop acting like, man, back in the day, this church was rocking. Back in the day, my family was rocking. Back in the day, spiritually, I was rocking. No. The covenant's with you right now, with you today. And so what does that mean, Johnny? These promises are for you, not for your grandfather Huddle or your grandfather Markham or your father or your mother or for Pastor Ron or for Bridget. They are for you. And you have to claim those promises that God has made a covenant with you. Next scripture. For you were afraid because of the fire, and you did not go up into the mountain. He said, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. And here's what I wrote to myself. While you stand afraid of the fire, Johnny, God cries out to you his name from the fire's heart. The fact that you are no longer a slave. Most of us, if we saw a mountain on fire, we would run the other way. We'd say, uh-oh, I hope everybody in their homes are, right? I mean, we would think that's crazy. And Moses walked up the mountain into the fire. And what I'm learning is, this is not a high places teaching, because we're not, supposed to worship God in the high places, blah, blah, blah. But there is a time when you're going to head up the mountain in life, and it is a hard uphill climb, and it is not easy, and you have to stop pouring in your heart and in your mind after the comfortable season that you were in, and just embrace that it's an uphill. Stop complaining. If you complain, by the way, that's your gift from God. Enjoy your complaint. Get your little emotional fix off your complaint, or you can gut up, and you can get up that hill and know that up in the fire is where it's going to get craziest, and you're going to hear God speak to you through the fire. And it could be a journey of purifying, a journey of refiner's fire. It could be a journey of intensity. It could be a journey of vision when you're up in that fire. For Moses, it was a huge journey of vision and of truth, because he brought the tablets down from the fire. Remember that? He brought the tablets down, and his face was glowing with the presence of God. And so what I thought was, every time I'm running up one of these crazy Comrades uphills, I'm going to just imagine that I'm running uphill into the fire. And that at the top of that hill, God is going to have a word for me, and he's going to speak to me. I'm getting pumped up, I know. I hope that is all right with you tonight, because I prayed about that yesterday too. I was like, Lord, how am I going to hold back my energy level? And the Lord was like, just be yourself. And so I was like, okay, cool, I'll just be myself like normal. Deuteronomy 5:15 says, you shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt, and the Lord your God brought you out from there with a mighty hand and outstretched arm. So this is what I wrote to myself. This is the story context for your life, Johnny. You were a slave. You were in bondage. And for you, bro, that meant temper, lust, anger, and fear. Notice temper shows up twice there, right? Anger and fear, pride, and dream escapism, which I really struggled with for a long time, was having these dreams of things that I would do, and things that I would want. Maybe God was calling me to some awesome thing. I wanted to spiritualize it and act like it was a God thing, and I was praying, but the truth was I was just my own pride pumping me up. Dream escapism. And God has totally led you through that nightmare landscape. Here's where you are today. You do not fight. You do not use violence anymore. You are not in a broken marriage with someone who wants you to save her, but you are in a marriage that is radically beautiful and full of passion. You are doing things you never thought you could do, speaking from stages about the glory of God and the potential of God, looking very successful people, more successful than you, in the eye and speaking the love of Jesus to them, presenting them the person of Jesus as he is, the Son of the living God. You are submitting to local leadership in Kenya, lifting up the broken, making the least of these Jesus' brothers your brothers. You can't ignore this. You are still a work in progress, but you can't ignore this. You were a slave to Pharaoh, and God has led you up out of Egypt with a mighty right hand. Push your body to its absolute limits, not driven by pride, but by the certainty and belief that God will sustain you. He will carry you, and you will finish. And in all caps, I just wrote comment, right? Because that's what Jesus was screaming in my head. And so I would say the same thing to you, that you have to remember that you were a slave. And if you cannot remember when you were a slave, and you can't remember the details of your slavery, then I don't believe you're truly thankful for your emancipation. Because anybody that's been in bondage remembers that feeling. All right, Johnny, come on. That's a little tough for you to put it that way. I think we got to work to remember what God has done to us and never let that testimony die. For there's something inside us that dies, and it will give a place with a religious pride. A religious pride. Where we feel like, oh no, I'm there. I'm already there. We'd never say that out loud because that's not the Christian thing to say, right? But that's what dictates our life. There's a lack of passion. There's a lack of intensity. There's no vision. People with vision come around and think, oh yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that follow-up goes. We'll see if it's broken, We'll see if they call me again. I don't know what you think or what I think, but I'm telling you, man, if you remember that you were a slave, that Jesus set you free, it kind of blows your mind. You start remembering what it was like before you knew your Savior. What it was like when you were walking in the darkness of religion or the darkness of a religious life or whatever it is for you. I'm saying the darkness of religion because I know that some of you have testified to that to me, that what God took you free from was religiosity. I think that is awesome, and for me it was just sin. I'm sorry. I can't say I was sin. It was not religiosity, it was sin. And I kind of never had religiosity at the beginning, and that was helpful, I think, for me. I think that's what led to InterVarsity my freshman year at the University of Illinois, not believing I was a Christian, to be honest. All the guys at InterVarsity and the campus of the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, kept trying to evangelize me for 3 straight months. They did not believe I followed Jesus. I loved those guys and kind of thought they were awesome, but had to part ways. Because if you can't see me, you don't know who I am, then how can you disciple me and how can I disciple you? God's not trying to cookie cutter you out. He just wants all of you. He wants to make you the person that He's called you to be, and that is a person set free. Deuteronomy 5:16, honor your father and your mother as the Lord your God commanded you, that your days may be long, and that it may go well with you in the land that the Lord your God has given you. And so I pray for your father or mother on your run, and find a way to honor them. Deuteronomy 5:32, you shall be careful therefore to do as the Lord your God has commanded you. You shall not turn aside to the right hand or to the left. And I wrote to myself, the road ahead are the commandments of God. The road that I'm on is the commandments of God. And I said that to some of our runners the morning before the race. We did a little shakeout run, just a little 2-mile run. And Brian Fraser asked me to give a devotional. And that Conrad Stevenshire was not my team, it was his team. That was an honor to be asked to do that, And so I just kind of shared what was in my heart. This was the stuff that percolated in my heart. I just said at one point, I said, can you guys honestly say that God has called you to do this race for these kids and do it in His name? And every head was like, absolutely. And so I just said, well, then maybe when we're on that road, we can just say that the road we are on is God's calling. That's what God's commandment is. We hear God's commandment and we think we're in an Old Testament mindset of rules and regulations. But God's commandment to you is love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. Lose your life for Jesus' sake. Mark 8 says He will save it and find it. Make disciples, not when you feel like it. In fact, when you don't feel like it is the time it's most powerful. Just like in any workout or in any corporate job or any situation you're in, the day you don't want to be a good worker is probably the day you need to be more than any other day. The road ahead of the commandments of God. The people around you share in the calling and are recipients of His calling. You must not turn to the right hand or to the left. Forward. Don't stop for nothing. That's what Rusty always says. You can stop for something. Like I went pee at the first half of the race. And runner stories are always TMI, guys. So just And that was a big deal because I could not do that the entire race last year. True story. Because I had bladder craziness and kidney stone activity and all sorts of stuff going on. So, I was a very thankful man. As crazy as that sounds, I was praising God that I could go pee. You shall walk in all the way that the Lord your God has commanded you, that you may live, that it may go well with you, and that you may live long in the land that you shall possess. There's a long walk ahead for the children of Israel. You guys remember how long they walked? 40 years. It's a long walk. Sometimes the walk is long. You've got to stop hoping that it ends. In fact, I was talking to Ken and I about this a little bit ago. I feel like sometimes God will even block your vision so you can't see the finish line. Because He wants you to stop wanting the finish line. He wants you to give your best right now. Be all in for that person, for that situation, for that calling right now. And open your ears instead. Trust in your eyes. Trust what you see. In Deuteronomy 6, jumping into the next chapter, says, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. And so I just said, you know what, I'm going to praise God for the first 5 kilometers, but then from kilometer 6 to 10, I'm going to meditate on that. I'm going to tell God I love Him. Teach me how to love Him, and I did that. Not all the kilometer markers I'm about to read you was I true to, because life happened. But this was my prayer plan. Deuteronomy 6:6 says, and these words that I command you today shall be on your heart. So at 11 kilometers, my prayer was, God, write your word on my heart. And my hope then was that He would bring to mind the scriptures that I had memorized, that I had forgotten, or teachings, and He did. Then Deuteronomy 6:7 says, you shall teach them diligently to your children. You shall talk to them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, when you rise. So from kilometers 12 to 13, I prayed that for Sydney. What do I need to teach her? And from 14 to 15, I prayed that for Elijah. What do I need to teach him? From 16 to 17, I prayed that for Louie Newton. What do I need to teach her? And then from 18 to 19, I prayed that for Carlton. What do I need to teach him? The prayer was this. What do I teach them in the morning? What do I teach them when they're walking by the way, when they're living their life during the day? And then when they rise, what do I teach them? When they rise. And then Deuteronomy 6:8-9, you shall bind them as a sign in your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. So I'm like, my home. Well, that was when I knew I needed to pray for Amanda. So I prayed for her for 4 kilometers. She got the most prayer of anybody on the list. Sorry, my favorites. 20 to 24, and this is what I prayed. What are the scriptures to go on our Narnia gate, on the door, the front of our faces? What are our life verses? Who are the hubs in Christ Jesus? And what does He call us to do? And Deuteronomy 6:10-12 says, and when the Lord your God brings you into the land that He swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give you with great and good cities that you did not build, and houses full. Then it was this. It's not if, it's when God brings you to that finish line. Did you catch that? And when the Lord your God brings you into the land He swore to you. And if the Lord your God, you are going to finish. You are going to inherit what God has for you. You have to stay true to His calling. If you don't, Deuteronomy 27, it's Deuteronomy 28 and Leviticus 27 is going to happen in your life. Confusion, fear, you're going to run when nobody's chasing you. When you abandon your calling, your life's going to get miserable, and you can blame God for that. He is going to totally mess with you. You can't medicate yourself out of that. You can't run from that. You can't hide from that. You can't watch enough television that you're going to be able to forget it when you abandon your calling in life that you were created for. What else is there? There is nothing else. It's just animalistic survivalism. Hand-to-mouth food, make it one day, pleasure, 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 connect the dots, and then die. Just get through life and die. That is not what God has to do for me. So we have to ask that question, God, what are you calling us to? What is our promised land? Because we are headed that way. Deuteronomy 6:11, and cisterns that you did not dig. And this was one of my final words. God revealed me on this trip. This is going to sound obvious. All my needs are met. Do you guys know that? Every need in my life is met. passionate about paying equity. A guy that has been working for 25, your testimony was rock solid, and that's what you should have said. But a guy working for 25 years, it stinks that he doesn't get paid more than the guy just hired. That's this pay equity thing. That's you coming in a new tier, salary-wise, right? It's been a deal with Team Vision. We just fixed it. It's hard to do too. It took Chip really 2 years to fix that. You know, it's a difficult challenge. But the truth is, I don't ever think about what I make, and I don't ever think about what my needs are. Now and then, I have to talk about it. You know, I had a meeting with the church last year to talk about it. As far as I can remember, I've had 2 of those meetings since I've been here. You know, and the church is ready to have 100 meetings. It's not the church; it's me. I just don't think about it. So why am I belaboring this point? All my needs are met. I don't know where you are, but I would encourage you to be very careful to thoroughly ask yourself, how many of your needs today are not met? Your needs are not met. And if you're in a position, if you're like me, and all your needs are met, let me ask you this. 2/3 of the world, almost none of their needs are met on a daily basis. What are you doing with the authority God's given you in being one of those whom He is allowed to have every need met? What are you doing at Capital? Nothing. I'm afraid my needs might not be met tomorrow. That's most of us. We're driven by our needs being met. In fact, that's, for some of us, the only way we know God's in our lives, is when He meets our needs. Isn't that a terrifying thought? That's a disgusting thought. You blow me away. You blow me away. Now I'm going to break the rules, and I'm going to step through that. You blow me away because in your journey in life, in this business that you worked on, you've poured your heart and your soul into it. I know you've considered your needs least in your company, and you're still walking that way. That blows me away. And for anybody that just spends an extra 10 to 12 seconds and just looks at you, they're going to know that is divine, that is from God. That is the life of Jesus in you, bro. It is so important for us to ask ourselves, what do we really need? And what opportunity do we have to give? And then finally, Deuteronomy 6:13, it is the Lord your God you shall fear. Him you shall serve, and by His name you shall swear. The thing you fear is the thing that drives your life. The thing you serve is the thing that defines your life. All right? The name that identifies you is your identity. That's your identity in life, okay? You will fear the Lord. You will serve the Lord. By His name you shall swear. Your word, your identity, everything is bound up in Him. So I wrote this to myself. You don't fear that race. And you don't fear any pain. Heck no. You connect with the amazing people around you in that race and get pumped because you are alive. And the only one you fear is God. Not scary fear, but the fear that proclaims, without you, I can't even live. Without you, there is no love. Without you, there is no hope. So this is my story. I start line this year. That's Sheila. There's Anna. She down here. Let me come over to this one. That's Anna right there. Anna had a terrible race, and she finished. Her knee was falling apart. She had serious IT band injuries. Prayed for her. She kind of looks like a special forces soldier when she runs. She came running down the road. Johnny! God, you might need your prayer word! 10 miles with no pain, and then came back. And then she endured through and she finished that race. That's Sheila Johnson, the amazing, who looked at the guy and said, you are running comrades again, aren't you? Sheila's daughter is in there. Gina's in there somewhere. She might have gotten squads out. That's Josh Fly, who carried Chipwood, the big face right behind mine, through his race, even though he was fighting some intestinal digestive challenges himself. And Chipwood was so happy. He told me the day before, I know you're going to have a great day. I just feel it in my spirit, I feel it in my bones. I was like really blessed by that. But this is a guy that called me into this mission years ago, knowing I was not a runner at all. I was the opposite of a runner, you know. And And for him to be there at that start line, I've thought a lot about it. That had to be special for him. This guy over here on the left with the purple, the kind of pinkish purple hat on, that's Orion. I didn't even know this guy, and he has become one great friend. One great friend. He videotaped my meetings with my sponsor kid and taught me a lot about his love for the Lord. He great Seventh-day Adventist, and just was incredible. There's a whole bunch of other stories you could tell in that circle, guys, but it was a great circle. And that was me coming through Pine Town. See, the town that I got yanked out of the race was one of the first towns you run through because the course switches this year. See, so last year I got yanked out at mile 44 in Pine Town. This year I came through Pine Town, and look at how happy I am. I just glowing. I went pee in Pine Town. I felt so good, you know. And then I ran up, and it was Judy Grobler, one of our South Africa leaders that like supports us, standing on the side of the road. And when she looked at me like she wanted to kill me. I was like, Judy, what's up? She's like, you are going too fast. See, you really have to study your speed over 54 miles because going 15 to 20 seconds too fast early on is going to kill you later in the day. And the truth was that I've been going too fast. I came through way too fast. And I had this like awakening when I was on Fields Hill, which is the hill that goes straight up. And everybody around me was sub 10 hours. And I would have been lucky if I was sub 12, right? That was, my goal was to be 11:40. That was my goal in the day. I wanted to finish at 11 hours and 40 minutes. But I was feeling good in Pine Town. And then this guy caught me during the one dark moment of my day. Remember me telling you about Greg Schlew, who was laying under a car? Remember that? Well, this last year he ate some food, got trapped in his throat, and tore his trachea apart. He ended up being hospitalized. Could have killed him. Could have killed him. So he didn't get to run comrades this year. And it was killing him that he couldn't run comrades. And so, right about mile 23, after I went too fast up Fields Hill, I wasn't even a marathon in. I started wondering, could I do this all day? It was the one time my mental plan and my prayer plan was not happening for me. I thought, man, I just don't know if I can do this all day. And I came guys, I come around this corner, there's Greg Schlew. And he chased me with that megaphone down the street, yelling, he's gonna make it! He's gonna make it! He's gonna make it! He's gonna make it! And I felt just like you do right now. This is super awkward. Why is he doing this? Look at how packed the street is, guys. You can't even tell. There are hundreds and hundreds of people, and they started reading my name off my bib, and they said, John! You're gonna make it! You got it, John! And I was like, shut up, Greg. Oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. Was I having a dark moment in my thoughts? Yes. Did I want someone chasing me with a megaphone? Yelling and curtain? No, like, you can say it to my ear, just take the megaphone down. He would not do it. A quarter of a mile he chased me, all right? A quarter of a mile. And guess what happened at the end of it? This. Come on. I got really happy and started to believe I was going to make it. And it worked. And his encouragement took root in my heart. It's giving me cold chills right now. And I went running down that hill. I got up to the top of Inchanga. Yeah. So I made it to the halfway point. I got to the top of Inchanga, which is a crazy, insane hill. And I started coming down Inchanga, and my legs felt good. And I was kicking into the downhill. And I thought, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. And I didn't stop. I just kept on going, kept on going. And after a little while, I heard, hey, Johnny! And I looked behind me, and I think I got it here. And it was this guy on the right. Alex ran two on the left. But that guy on the right, that's Josh Folkers. And he had come in to the cheer station that Greg was at, where he yelled at me, he's going to make it. He came in like 5 or 6 minutes after I did. And he came in with the intention of stepping off the course. He was done. He was so beaten up, he was done. And there he was with me on Inchanga. And so I said, well, what'd you do? He said, I just kept running. Since Greg wasn't there, I couldn't quit. Well, he was encouraging me. That's the life of the Spirit, right? At the right time, he was there for me, and at the right time, he was not there for Folkers, right? And so Folkers is running with me. And Folkers says, get your phone out, because he's a math guy. I'm like, okay. And he's like, so this is how many miles we got left, and let's do the math and figure out what our pace is. And so we did the math, and I got to show you a video to kind of illustrate this. So if you could just watch it, 60 seconds, just watch this video, because it captures the moment that Josh Folkers and I had together about 30 miles into the Comrades Marathon.
say I can get you out of here. What? This is the rescue. I'm helping you escape. Can you fly a typewriter? You with the resistance? What? No, I'll break you out. Can you fly a typewriter? I can fly anything. Why? Why are you helping me? Because it's the right thing to do. You need a pilot. I need a pilot. We're gonna do this. Yeah.
Okay, that is me and focus on that race. I'm running ahead, and he says, Johnny, give me your time. Give me the mileage, and point it in, put it in. And I look at him, and he's like, Johnny, all we got to do is run 14-minute miles. That's nothing. We could walk a 14-minute mile. We are going to be comrades. And I said, we're going to be comrades? And he's like, we are going to be comrades. And we just started laughing like we were already in the stadium, man. The race was over, you know? And we went up, and then a little bit later, he started breaking down, and I started struggling, and I said to him, how you doing? He's like, I'm struggling. And it was like really muted, really quiet. You didn't think of that scene, right? But we did make it, and I started feeling good again, and we came to one of the cutoffs, and we started backpedaling. I was backpedaling through the cutoff, like shouting, folks, you got this, brother, you got this, brother. We hit that cutoff, we only had one more to go, right? And right over that hill, we saw Greg Schlew again. And that's a picture of where he was. And Greg Schlew runs up to me and he says, Johnny Huddle, you are not going to make it at the pace that you were going. And Volker said, Johnny, just go ahead, just go ahead. This is your year, this is your race, which really sucked that he said that because he loves me and he wants me to finish, but he's basically saying, I don't guarantee that I'm going to finish. And I was like, because we just run together for a long time. And I heard Nana say, you better run. So I said, okay, what do I got to do? And Greg Schlew said, there's a sub 12-hour pace bus down this hill. Could you kick it up? Could we, and we kicked it up. We're probably doing maybe 8.5 to 9-minute miles down this hill, right? And we were kicking down this hill. And he said to me, Johnny, you may have to hold this pace for a while. Can you do it? And I said, bro, I think I got this pace in me for a little while, but I don't think I got much more than this. And Tony looked me in the eyes while he was running. He said, don't you tell me that. You do have more to you in this. Stop telling yourself what you don't got in you. You got this. And earlier thing, you came back into my head, right? So I'm running down this hill, and I'm like, he's dead right there. And his actual words were, I don't want to hear you say that. You do have it in you. And that's when we came to this. And some of you may have seen this video on Facebook. That's my Facebook.
Right here. You see them? They're awesome. Easy does
it. Comrades. Think about that. We're not comrades now, right?
Right here. You see them?
That is the voice of the pace bus leader. It was a very quiet pace bus. It was massive. There were like a couple hundred people in it at one point. And people would come and would go, And last year I was in a pace bus, and I just couldn't stay in it. I couldn't handle it. It was too closed in for me. So let me tell you what life in a pace bus is like. First off, it's a Philippians 2 style life, right? You have to consider the needs of others more important than your own. If you've not read Philippians 2 in a while, what's he talking about? That's it. You have to consider the needs of others as more important than your own, because that's the attitude that Christ Jesus had in him. For though he was God, he did not consider equality with God a thing to be grasped, but he humbled himself, even death on the cross, so that he could rise again, become the name that's lifted up above every name, right? So when you're in that pace bus, you've got to lift up others. And what does that look like? Well, sanctification shows up when you're in the pace bus. Because there are times when, like I said, I'm a mess. Like when I'm running with a group. You can ask my wife. You can ask Lindsay too. She's run with me a ton. Ken and I too. I'll bump into you. When I get tired, my elbows start winging out. And when I'm in a group, I just start stepping on the heels of people in front of me. I don't mean to, but that's what I do. I start stepping on their heels. And when you're in that big pace bus, you can't do that. It's like you're a living organism, and everybody's crammed in together. If you can see, everyone's really close, and you got to really watch your feet, right? And the pace bus leader is calling out the pace. And I'm telling you, to kill the suspense, the last 12 miles of this race were the easiest last 12 miles I've ever had in a race in my life. And I had it on the Comrades Ultra Marathon. We were going downhill so slow, and I was like, man, I got more in me. And then on the uphill, I'd be like, this is just about right. This pace is great. And on the downhill, oh man, people said to me, hey, we could run ahead. I think us could run ahead. And we could probably get to the stadium before the rest of the group. All right? And I felt that temptation, like, should I do that, you know? And I totally felt check. No, you stay in this group. Greg ran you up to this group. You stay in this group. This is your group. Folkers didn't stay in the group with me. He went on and he did his own thing. Anna did her own thing, but I chose to stay in that group. And sanctification shows up because if you step on somebody's shoes and they get ticked off, they'll let you know. But you get your shoes stepped on too. Trust me. I got my feet stepped on a bunch of times. And in those moments, I couldn't be like, hey man, watch. I had to be like, really? Like, because everybody's on the same crazy long-term 54-mile race that you're on. Does that make sense? I don't want to say something discouraging to a neighbor. You know what I mean? I mean, you don't know. It could be their last mile, and they got 10 to go. And they're still going to make it 10, having done their last mile at mile 44 like it was for me last year. So I was just like, man, God, help me to say the right things. Help me to say the right things. Let me tell you what else happens in one of those pace buses. You smell the body odor of everybody in the world. We probably had 10 different countries represented in our pace bus. Women and men, old and young. And you're all jammed in like that, and y'all been running a long time. And let me tell you, man, with my body odor, when it gets bad, it smells like the inside of a pig stall on a pig farm. It's like ammonia, kind of like, like burns your eyeballs and makes you sweat. And other people behind me smelling that. And I'm smelling their BO. But when you're jammed into a pace bus, that is the way it is. You're going to get to know how the person next to you smells. Also, sometimes in the pace buses, it gets really quiet. And you can tell yourself, you know what? This group is dead. This group is not alive. There's something wrong. And it's not the truth. Because they're moving together. They're going together. It doesn't matter if they're talking or it matters if they're quiet. They're headed in the right direction. The pace bus leader is calling out the pace. They're staying true to their mission. They're staying true to their calling. Is it exciting when the chants start? You better believe it is, right? But life is not a chant 24/7. There are times of stillness and quiet as well. Your personal space gets violated the entire time you're in the pace bus. That's just the way it is. You have no personal space. I got cut off a bunch of times. I cut off some other dudes a bunch of times. One dude cut me off and sent me off to the curb, which is really scary because I saw 3 guys turn ankles in the last 10 miles on that curb and get kicked out of the race. All right? So you got to get back in, which means you may have to cut somebody else. The green bibbers, they struggle too. A green bib is someone who's run this comrades race 10 times. Then the color of the race bib changes to green. That means they're a legend. They are epic. We had 2 green bibbers, maybe more, that I could identify in the group. And they were just like us. They were just trying to get another mile, You think that those 10 times, will give you some kind of extra input. Man, if you got to turn an ankle, if you're struggling, or if you're undertrained, everybody's in it together. Whether you're a green bib or you're a first-timer. And I saw people, as I said, fall to the curb, but also the speed bumps. In fact, in one moment, Howard said last week, he said, or 2 weeks ago, he said, that Satan will never confront us head on. You remember that? Satan will never confront us head on. Okay? Sometimes he may, but if he does, it's because he knows he's got the victory. He always comes at you from oblique angles. He always comes at you from the side. And it was these speed bumps. So the speed bumps started coming up on us. I couldn't see them because I had 20 people in front of me and I had 50 people behind me, maybe more. And this one lady, tall South African lady, was running next to me. And she got hit one of the speed bumps and she went down. And I caught her. And the Lord gave me strength. I lifted her back up. And we didn't lose our pace. And we stayed true. And she looked at me, she had tears rolling down her face because she knew what just had happened. That was her race right there. But let me tell you, the value of being in the pace bus is this. Oh, Johnny, you might have seen that speed bump coming if you were out of the bus. It's possible, but it's also possible I would have just been staring at the ground and not seen it. When you're in the pace bus, if somebody hits the speed bump, you can be there to catch them, and they can be there to catch you. That's the value of being together. That's the value of staying close, staying committed to one another. And then finally, I want to allow the pace bus leader to lead, because the pace bus leader is not Jesus. Jesus is Jesus. The pace bus leader is the leader of all these stinky people who's stinky to him. And he is never running at his pace. A pace bus leader can't be, or she can't be a pace bus leader And but there were women pace bus leaders too, guys. You can't lead a pace bus that's at your target pace. You can only lead buses that are slower than what you would be if you ran normal comrades. Does that make sense? So if you're a 10-hour comrade runner, you can't lead the 10-hour or 10-15 pace bus. But you can lead maybe the 11 to 12, 11:30. And so when people started getting fussy at the pace bus driver because he was going too slow, I thought, this guy's awesome. Because what he's trying to do, he's trying to keep everybody together. Because he wants everybody to finish. And that's a sacrifice for him too, because it hurts your body to go a slower pace than you're used to going. Did you know that? It hurts your body to go a slower pace than you're used to going, because it means more footsteps, more heel striking over a long period of time. And this is how it ended, guys. I'm running into the stadium. This song which I've never been a huge fan of this song in my life because I was associated with bad things from my childhood, which is just something I can only talk about over coffee, all right? But today was the song, man. I was coming in, it was pumped when we were in the stadium, and our pace bus leader slowed down and started walking at one point, and the bus walked like, I got busted a little bit. I'm like, this is the time to run! And I was just busting, exploding, and so pumped. Came in, felt amazing. I just thought, God, this, if you can look at the picture, the reason why I put this up here is Carrie says, that, my friends, is the power of prayer. Well done, good and faithful servant. Prayer is what got us through this race. Prayer. I have people praying for me on a 24-hour prayer chain. Joe Albert told me he fasted and prayed for me all night. People were praying, and prayer matters. It is not something you do to make yourself feel better in life. It will move the world. It changes destiny. God is waiting for you to pray because He wants to know what you love and what you care about so He can know where to work, because He wants the kingdom to move at the pace of His people. He doesn't want to be dragging them along all the time. In fact, if you look through Scripture, you don't see God doing that. You see Him moving at the pace of His faithful. And so if the faithful quit, it seems like God's not doing much in Scripture. But if the faithful are all in and pulling themselves out in prayer, I mean, that is why you've got to get with people during the week, guys. You've got to meet with a buddy for 30 minutes at a Starbucks or something. At least get on a Google Hangout or a phone call and pray together. If you're not going to do a full-blown LTG where you're sharing Scripture, at least pray together. Oh, I'll do it if I feel like, hey, text me if you need prayer this week. No! Forget that, man. You can't run a marathon texting somebody, hey, if you feel like training this week, text me. You've got to set your training. You've got to get it dialed in and act like that this journey is the most important journey in your life. Because it is. The moment Satan wins, what that means is life ends. Vision ends, joy ends. Life becomes pleasure, whoring, suck life, terrible life, death. The wages of sin, death. And when Jesus is with you, in the toughest miles, in the toughest moment, and He's showing up with you through a friend, the friendships that will result will blow your mind. There were moments in the bus when I was trying to connect with people. They were not connectable. I was floating on air, and they were struggling. And if you're following where I'm going with this, and this is my last thing, wrapping it up for tonight. If you're following where I'm going with this, I intended 2 weeks ago to come and tell you all about the Team Vision work, and I knew that I was supposed to talk to you about the Comrades Run and about the church. And we are a pace bus. As a church family, that's what we are. And we are all going ahead together. What it means is that many of you are not going to be going the pace that you want to go at. And your desire is going to be to bail on the group and move ahead on your own. I did that. I was at a church in Houston, Texas, a big old fancy mega church where everybody had big old diamond earrings. I bailed. And I told myself, that's just not my church. That's not the Lord's church. That church loves money. I'm going to tell you what, my life was like that year. My OCD was the worst it ever was that year. And I came out of that year, I entered into a relationship that God never wanted me to enter into. I made poor decisions driven by my pride. And so my final word to you is out of Hebrews 5, which I've got the scripture, but I'm not going to put it up. God is trying to teach you that Jesus learned obedience through what He suffered, and so will you, and so will I. The temptation, though, is to get prideful and to isolate yourself and to tell yourself others don't understand me and can't connect with me. It doesn't matter what you tell yourself. Let me tell you something. Pride didn't get you to start your relationship with Jesus, did it? Probably the opposite. Probably your pride being destroyed and you finally come to grips with who you are. Well, if pride didn't get you to start a relationship with Jesus, it's not going to get you to cross the finish line either side. Pride is going to keep you from that finish line, and it's going to keep you from that finish line with your brothers and sisters. You are called by God to be together. You're called by God to commit to one another. That means that you're careful about what you say. You stop jawing off, well, I have the right to talk about this. No, you don't. If what you say causes one of your brothers and sisters to stumble, tie a millstone around your neck and be cast into the sea forever and ever. I'm not saying that, but in that moment, yes. Goodness gracious, at least tie a millstone around the neck of the thing that was saying something. That didn't even make sense, but I know you understand exactly what I said. If we're on a marathon, ultra-marathon journey, and it's a journey of agape love, where God is calling us to spill ourselves out for others, we are speaking love, hearts captured by love. Take a break, take a longer break, walk the next 5 miles. We got to be careful about slowing up people because we are sucking wind and have not done our training. It can be very tempting to be threatened by somebody whose pace is dialed in. You know yours is not. You start tearing them down. Don't be hating on anybody else because they're doing their training, folks. Rely on them. Lean into them. Ask them to pray for you. In 10, I heard a voice call out, Johnny! I turned around me, and there were hundreds of people in this tent, guys. Out of 17,000 runners, I think 13,000 finished, or 13,800 finished the comrades race up here. So a ton of people dropped out. But behind me was Josh Fuller's man. This brother that he had a train wreck of a day. And seeing him finish exploded joy in my heart. And so my word to you to close this night is, you may not think about your life as an endurance race or a long-distance journey. Paul did. Paul wrote about it. You know I'm going to talk about it a million more times and a million more sermons. It's a metaphor that's important for us to manage. But what you do need to think about is your brother and sister. They are in the race of their lives. They're in the race of their lives. And they're not promised another day. And it's actually your pride that tells you you can't help them. Because most likely it's disinterest that's telling you that. And disinterest puts on a wolf, is a wolf that puts on sheep's clothing. They don't care about that person. But I'm going to act like it's not that I don't care. It's that I'm just very humble and I would never assume they would care about what I have to say. Love is driving you to act. Love is driving you to speak. You have to act or speak. And I want to do this together. And I'm not like trying to covertly say, hey guys, I'm not running my target pace either. Because technically I'm one of the pace bus leaders in this church meeting. But what you need to know is there is not one. And I'm not making that up. You can ask any of the comrades runners. The pace bus leader has other people around him. And apparently, it didn't happen to me, but apparently if somebody falls out of the pace bus, like the pace bus leader, they have people that can step up and lead that bus. And there are times when one of us is out of town, or one of us is going through a difficult time, or one of us is burying a family member, right? Or one of us is fighting cancer, or fighting some disease, or dealing with some crisis. Well, the other members of the bus have got to step up and lead in those moments. And you can't know when to step up just off some miraculous word from God. You've got to also know where your people are. You have to have a feel for what's going on in the bus. You got to smell the PO, man. You got to know where people are in life and what their love is at, so you know how to serve and love and lead. And that's all I got. God, thanks for this group. Thanks for this incredible gathering. Thanks for the soul that donated for us to have a meal next week, which I didn't even announce. You're bringing that to my mind right now. I appreciate that, God. We'll talk about that meal. Thank you, God. God, for allowing us the opportunity to give and be together. You know, we give financially, God, every week, but we really want that to be a metaphor for what we're doing with our hearts. We want to give you our entire lives. God, we want to give you our entire lives. Help us to do that. No matter the cost, holding nothing back. Father, the last thing I pray for is our tongues. That when somebody comes to us and they have a fire in their heart to do something or to head in a direction, I pray that you allow us to pour fuel and wood in their fire. And not try to put that fire out. Let us be a thing that keeps everybody going. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Thanks, guys.